everybody. I don't want to keep you guys here for too long. I want to be respectful with your time. My name is Paulo. I'm from VSGI. Thank you so much for joining us for our webinar. And today we're talking with our friends from Barco. Barco has this really nice product called ClickShare that connects to your meetings in a very easy way. Today we have Kevin Sickles and Jennifer Schnell. Sorry, I messed up your name, Jennifer. Sorry about that. So with that, I'm going to give the word to our friends from Barco. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Thank you, Paulo. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kevin Sickles. I'm the Business Development Manager here at Barco for our ClickShare product line. I see we've got a number of people that are attending and people are still joining. So this is being recorded. You guys will be able to get the recording from Paulo afterwards. And we have chat feature that is open. So if you guys want to ask questions during the presentation, feel free to ask questions in the chat. Or if you want to raise your hand, we can unmute you or whatever so that you can ask a question during the presentation itself. We plan on going through the presentation, and then at the end we have a live demonstration. I'm actually demonstrating it now while I'm talking, because I am using the ClickShare along with a peripheral USB device instead of using my camera that's in the laptop and the microphone and speakers. So even though I'm saying we're going to do a presentation or a demonstration at the end, I'm actually demonstrating it now using it as we're speaking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing my presentation. I'll share my screen itself. And then once I do that, I will make my presentation go full screen. Just bring this down and I'll make this presentation full screen. There we go. It's letting me go full screen. Give me 1 second. There we go. So again, thank you for joining. So this is a joint webinar, both by Barco as well as VSGI. And Barco, just for those of you who may not know, we've been around for a long time. 1934, started as Belgium American radio company, which is what Barco stands for, and have made a number of different products from radios to different types of television, control rooms. Now we announced, we released ClickShare back about 8 years ago, 2012, and then also released ClickShare Conferencing in 2020, which was the ability to share with USB peripherals within a room. So just to give you a little bit of an understanding of why this is important, why we look at this marketplace itself, we're all going through this right now, and the world has changed, especially over the past 2 years. So obviously COVID affected everyone from, small organizations to large organizations to, our governments to, schools, and just about everyone in every aspect was affected by COVID. And it made it so with the lockdown and, people not traveling. So if you look at this slide, this particular slide talks about how air travel decreased 73% from the year before. That's a tremendous decrease, right? And a lot of airplanes ended up staying grounded, and it just changed the way that people worked, the way that people could meet, and not just airlines, but trains and any way of commuting. I live near New York City, and commuting in and out of New York City after the pandemic hit went from, you could have an hour and a half or 2 hour commute to a, 15-minute commute because there was no traffic. So our world has changed from what we expected and what we knew, previous to 2 years ago. And if you, there's a lot of different studies that have been done, but this particular one is wrapped around, conferencing minutes, and Microsoft, their conferencing minutes went from, 900 million to 2.7 billion minutes, and that's per day. So that jumped tremendously. And the reason obviously was people needed ways to stay in communication with their coworkers, with their colleagues, with their, customers, or, vendors, or any number of different people. So all across the board, all you see, whether it was Microsoft, Zoom had huge increases as well in the number of meetings that they were hosting. I think they went up 5 times the number of meetings that they were previously. So their increase was huge as well. And everyone did. WebEx did. Anybody that was using any sort of a UC platform saw huge increases in the meeting minutes, in the number of meetings that were going on. And obviously that was due to the fact that people were working remotely and not in their offices and not gathered around a conference table. So trying to go to the next slide. It's not going. There it goes. So people started to work remotely, got used to working on their laptop. So right now I'm presenting to you from my laptop. We're using Zoom for this meeting. I'm using peripherals that are all-in-one speaker bar with camera. I've got my ClickShare off to the side here to do wireless capabilities. And, we become used to, especially over the past 2 years, whether we had been in the offices or not, we became used to using this as the medium for our communications. So I spend hours and hours and hours a day on my laptop doing calls using either Zoom, WebEx, Teams, Ring Central, GoToMeeting, any number of different applications. And this is the way that we have progressed over the past couple of years. So now, as we're starting to see COVID, I can't say it's going away, but as we're seeing a decrease in the number of hospitalizations and the number of people who are contracting it, we're seeing a switch going back to, some people are going to be starting to go back to the offices. So, we've done we've done surveys of companies, so Google, Salesforce, Siemens. We've talked to large, corporate banks, Citibank and Credit Suisse and Goldman Sachs, and all of these different companies around what's their strategies. And their strategies are, we want people to come back to the office, but we also realize that people need to be able to work from home. So over the past 2 years, they've been working from home. They've become accustomed to it. And, either A, they don't want to come back into the office at all, or if they do, they don't want it to be 5 days a week. They want it to be 2 or 3 days a week. And so we need to be able to, we, as in everyone, needs to be able to provide to those employees and to those customers the ability to communicate both to their employees as well as to their coworkers and even to customers. So here's just, 2 of the banks that we're talking about, what the trends are and how their return to office is going to be. And so there's, it's not just about being productive, but it's also about, being able to feel like you're connected with your coworkers or with, the rest of the organization or the business that you're working for. So the idea is to keep those people connected, whether they're working from home, whether they're in the office. In the office itself, we're seeing a change within the room. So, what used to be one big conference room now has a lot of times been broken down to, we've got only a smaller number of people that will go into that conference room to, keep socially distanced and be able to sit around that conference table. But there may be a lot more of the smaller breakout rooms, smaller areas where there's 3, 4, 5 people that are going to fit into that room. And you don't want people crowding around a laptop to be able to have those meetings with, remote participants and, people in other conference rooms that are in other buildings or other, parts of the States or parts of the world. So, we as Barco have done a number of different studies, and our studies come back with, 85% of the workforce want to return to the office, but 30% want to be that flexible, hey, I want to work out of my home office 2 or 3 days a week. And, in order to keep those people happy and keep them productive, a lot of organizations are looking at it as we want to be able to provide them with the tools that they need to be able to do this. So, these are pretty much just a couple of quotes from a number of different organizations, right? Ernst & Young or EY, remote working is here to stay, and it's going to become even more integral part of the way they work. Gartner's got, 50% of the employees will continue to work remotely post-COVID. So I'm sure all of us on this call are seeing this. I'm working from home right now. Jennifer's working from home. Paulo, I think you're in your office today, but you're working from home quite a bit as well, right? So a lot of us are understanding exactly what these organizations are saying. So what is it that we're trying to address? And if you look at hybrid meetings, which will have some people in the office, some people working from home, you've got to take into consideration that people are going to be using laptops to do that communication, because that's what we've been doing over the past 2 years. They want to continue to do that, whether they're at home office or back in an office, and they want to use their app of choice. So Zoom, for instance, that we're on now, or Teams, or GoToMeeting, or WebEx. People want to be able to use the app that they're comfortable with, or that maybe their customer or their partner has set up a meeting on. And being able to do that from your laptop is the easiest, most efficient way to do that. But using the technology that's built into that laptop, the microphones, the cameras, the speakers, is not good experience for the people on the far end. So if you look at these images here, if this person here on this first image on the top corner, if they were just sharing their laptop or talking from their laptop, the people on this far side wouldn't be heard. The people next to them probably wouldn't be heard, because this microphone is only designed to pick up the person that's in front of the laptop. Same thing with the camera. The camera's designed to pick up, somebody in a small area right in front of that laptop. And so in conference rooms or in breakout rooms and training rooms, that's not a good experience. And so what we bring to the table with our wireless content sharing and the ability to connect up to those USB peripheral devices in the room is to allow everyone to utilize those in a seamless manner and make for a better, more productive meeting for both everyone locally as well as remote participants. One of the other things that we address are all the cables. So typically, if you don't have something like ClickShare in the room, you've got cables mounted to a back of a monitor. You've got to be able to plug your laptop into it. Some of those cables could be either an HDMI cable. It might be an old, VGA cable. It might be any number of different cables that would be there. So you could have, propensity to have multiple cables out to the table itself, wires going across the floors. So not a neat way to present, and it can actually change once you plug one of those connectors into your laptop. Can change the format, can change the resolution based on the resolution of the device that you're plugging into. So again, it creates issues for people that are trying to join and join seamlessly. The camera on the laptop I talked about already, where it's a lower resolution camera. The field of view on it is not that good. The zoom capabilities are negligible on it, if there is zoom capabilities. There are some really good cameras that are on the marketplace right now for tracking people in the rooms, for doing the ability to go from one person talking to another person talking, and it will switch between those people within the room itself. So at the far end, they get a much better experience. They get to see everybody in that larger video versus these little thumbnails that everybody has their own little picture, or a big conference room with 4 or 5 people in it, and it's zoomed so far out that you really can't see the people anyway. You see these little dots in the room. So there's a number of things that you have to look for in being able to make those conference rooms, make them productive for users using laptops. And the laptop is the way that most organizations are going now. Some of them will still be using older hardware codecs. You're using hardware codecs, that's fine, right? But they can only talk to other, other codecs, other things, maybe into a Zoom call or whatever. And depending on how they're set up as to the ways that you would communicate to them. Hardware codecs, I think you'll see going, less and less becoming the mainstream, and being where people are going to have their laptops. The bring your own meeting, BYOM, will be prevalent within most of those meetings moving forward. And that's what we're really seeing out there right now across the board. And again, tying it into any number of USB peripherals. So a all-in-one, let's say, that has the camera, the microphone, the speakers built into it, and utilizing that from your laptop without having to plug that into your laptop, then plug an HDMI cable or VGA cable in or anything else. And so, we at Barco came out with this button down here on the bottom right-hand corner as part of our design. And so you plug it into your laptop, and within 7 seconds, you're up and sharing content that's on your laptop. And it makes it simple for people to use it, right? It's a device that that once you use, once you plug it in, it's self-explanatory, right? Hit that center button, you start sharing content. So it's very simple. The users really have a minimal amount of training as far as, hey, how do I plug this in? Well, find your USB-C port, plug it in, watch the button, spin. It goes around, lights yellow or white, complete white all the way around. And you push the button, and that's when it'll turn red, and it shows you that you're sharing content. So again, we want to make that experience simple and easy to use. And we do have an app as well, which can be either downloaded to any of the laptops, or you can use it, download it to a smartphone or a tablet as well. So there's a number of different ways to share, but the experience from sharing, whether you're sharing from that button or from that application, is going to be the same. So we make it very simple for users, no matter which way they want to share. So the audio limitations, if you see here, we talked about it with the laptops here. We're using these peripherals, whether it's these microphones, these speakers. This is a OWL device, but could be any number of, you see different cameras down here that we can plug into. So here's one of the all-encompassing, this happens to be a Logitech meetup. You've got the Rally cameras, which is just the USB camera itself, and then you need a speaker microphone with that. So you've got different capabilities versus using that built-in laptop camera that's not going to allow you to zoom, not going to allow you to have good microphone quality, not going to allow you to hear the people on the far side, or especially other people that are in that room won't hear well if they're using just the laptop. Once you pull in these other peripherals, those other peripherals make that experience both locally as well as to the far end that much better experience for everyone. Oh, and I did mention the cabling, right? So, I said before, depending upon what laptop you have, you might have, multiple different cables that may have to be plugged into either a device or into, a monitor. People don't want to, even when you walk in and out of your office or in and out of your home, a lot of people have docking stations, so that they take their laptop, they plug it into the docking station, and this way any external hard drives, external monitors, it's already connected to them, right? So that makes it simpler at home and in your office. Well, the same thing in a conference room. You don't want all those cables that you have to plug into a laptop. So you can just take our button, plug it into your laptop, and now you have all those peripherals connected up to your laptop, as well as the ability to share from your laptop into the meeting. And other people that want to share can grab another button and start sharing from their laptops. So you don't have to have two laptops in that same meeting, right? They're not both dialed into the Zoom call or Teams call or whatever. You have one laptop in the conference room dialed in, and then anybody who wants to share content just plugs in the button and can start sharing directly from that button. Again, it makes it very simple for users. So I talked a little bit about the microphones and speakers. These are we have 363, I think it is, or 360 different peripherals that we've certified from Barco that will work with ClickShare. And those are, they range from, everything from Poly to Logitech, to Jabra, to Yamaha, to, there's just so many of them. And it's a number of different, what we call alliance partners that we've partnered up with to work with closely and make sure that these devices work seamlessly in your environments. I already covered these. Okay, so from the home workers environment, right? What this particular woman, let's say, is sitting and looking at is everybody on the far side in that conference room. Those 4 people are all framed in from that particular all-in-one device that they're sharing. And so the person who's working from home gets to see those people pretty much as if they were sitting in that conference room at the far end of the table. So it's a great experience for that user. And then the people that are in that conference room, they get to see and hear that person at the remote side up on the screen, as well as see any presentations that are being done from the person who's presenting from the home office, or people in that meeting room that are presenting get to see it up on screen, as well as the FAR participants get to see it at the same time. I've got a little video here I want to show you guys. Let me just slide over real quick, and here we go. We'll go full screen. Hopefully you guys can see and hear something.
Meeting starts in 2 minutes. You gonna get us set up or what?
We're trying, John.
Try faster.
Just don't know how to do this.
Do these do anything?
I don't know. Siri, connect us. Alexa.
Hello?
I think client is on WebEx, so maybe we need to be on a PC. Is there a PC in here?
Here we go again with the political correctness.
Personal computer. Boomer.
Right. Hey-o. I think I found it, guys. Anyone know the password?
Yeah. A as in Applebee's, B as in Applebee's, P as in pterodactyl, M as in Mary had a little lamb, whose fleece was white as snow.
And we are in.
T-minus 30 seconds till the meeting.
Need the invite link.
Oh, I got it right here. It's http://
Sorry, is it a backslash or forward?
It's the one that's left to right. Not if we're facing each other, but if you're facing the direction I'm facing.
Wait, we're facing the same
upper
direction.
left, lower right.
Upper left, so that's the
That
sounds like a
one.
back.
That's 2 of those.
Can you just forward me that email so I can click on the link?
I have the email still. Yep, hang on a second. Oh, shoot. I gotta log into my email account again. I always forget the password. Oh, there it is. It's right there. This.
I got the email right here. But which one of these 16 links is it?
T-minus negative 3 minutes to the meeting.
Here we go. How to connect a video conference if the 2 parties have 2 different systems. Just says good luck.
Can't we connect on our phones?
Is it conference room or conference room guest? Or is it conference room guest 5G? I'm just gonna try this Xfinity one. Anybody know the password?
I might have that.
Guys, I think I got it.
Can you come up here so we can all see?
My phone's on 2%. I have to keep it plugged in.
Does anyone have a longer cable?
I might have one.
Hey everybody, sorry we're late. Can you see us?
Uh-oh, my third-party lightning cable isn't. Oh, man.
We're gonna lose the deal.
Guys, you do know there's a ClickShare conference room next door, right?
What's that?
Who is that?
Come on, I'll show you. With ClickShare Conference, you just plug this in, click the meeting link, no matter what conference platform you use, and bam, you're connected.
Wow.
Why is no one there?
Did you know that your meeting was at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time?
T-minus 2 hours, 45 minutes until the meeting.
Oh, great. Bring all of your conferences into Barco ClickShare Conference Room and connect instantly, no matter the conferencing platform. Learn more at barco.com/.
So hopefully everybody enjoyed that video. I think that one of the key takeaways from that obviously is the ease of being able to share and join a meeting directly from your laptop using Barco's ClickShare. And some of the things that they went through, even though they looked pretty funny and seemed like it was weird. I mean, I think all of us have gone at some point into meetings and been like, wait, what link am I supposed to be clicking on? How am I supposed to connect onto this? What's the password to get into it? Right. So we've all run into things where the meeting's supposed to start at 1 o'clock and starts at 1:10 or 1:15, because by the time everybody gets connected in and everything else. So a lot of productivity time is lost in those types of meetings when you're not able to join into a meeting on time. And that's if the people on the far side don't, bail out because they're saying, well, nobody was there for 10 minutes. So we just decided that the meeting was canceled. So we've all, I'm sure a large number of us anyway have sat through those types of conferences where we're trying to get into those meetings and get into those calls. But at least with ClickShare, we can make it simpler, make it easier for people to join. So what does ClickShare bring for you, right? So wireless capabilities, the ability to have your laptop connected up to those USB microphones, speakers, in the room itself, sharing content both locally as well as to the far side, gives you the ability to integrate it into existing meeting rooms. So whether you've got meeting rooms already set up with those USB devices, you don't have to rip them out because we work with so many of them. You can utilize those USB devices with the ClickShare conferencing, or if you're setting up new conference rooms, you've got a number of different products that give you the flexibility to determine what's the right product for you for those USB devices in your rooms. So you would be able to use those. And then if you decide to change down the road, a year, 2 years, whatever, you can change them out, put in other ones, and they'll work as well with the ClickShares. Gives you the ability to turn basically any room into a bring your own meeting, or BYOM, where you bring your laptop in, plug in, and you're engaged with the remote participants. We also work with any laptops, basically. So we work on the PC platform, we work on the Apple platform, basically plugging in that button and then launching the meetings right from your laptop. No need to download software. You can download software. It can be downloaded to and pushed out to those laptops and PCs, or you can just use that dongle, and then you don't have to download the app. The dongle itself has the application on it, and so you plug it in and start sharing directly from your laptop. And then from an enterprise perspective, some of the key things to make sure of is that it's a secure product. So the Barco products are we are secure. So we do encryption on them, both over the network. So you have multiple ways to connect over a hardwired network, over wireless networks. We have our own within the ClickShare itself. There is a wireless built into it so that it can connect to the buttons, can connect up to it over 5G or 2.4 gigahertz. You can so the security is a key capability, but then also being able to manage them. If you've only got a few of the ClickShares within your organization, it's no problem to do firmware software updates and manage them from individual units going through a web interface or going into the room and doing an update. But we also have a management platform. It's called XMS that allows you to do upgrades to those devices. It can be done 2 o'clock in the morning, whenever it is that you want it to be done. You can set the times. You can manage them from there. You can change settings on it, and you can also pull analytics from it. So you get to see how long those systems have been in calls, you know, the usage of them, if they're down or not. You also have you get alarm sets for those. So it's a very powerful management application that it allows you to manage all your systems, all your devices from one central platform. Okay, so we talked a little bit about you know, the different cases, but there's really, I look at it as two different scenarios. One is you've got your home worker, you've got your office worker, or hybrid workers. You know, being able to share and be seen both remotely from a home office as well as from the boardroom or conference room, and making that dynamic and seamless for users on both sides. That's one example. Another example is, you know, conference room to conference room, same thing, where you've got, you know, the ability to connect up for, you know, using whatever application, whatever platform it is that you want to use, Zoom, Teams, WebEx, etc., and use those peripherals that are in that room with your meeting and make it simple for everybody to both join it, as well as you know, be able to hear and see everybody clearly and cleanly. So our customers, we've got all different types of customers, everything from, you know, federal agencies to banks to corporate, you know, oil companies. We've got pharmaceuticals. We have, you know, car manufacturers, you name it. We work with probably every type of organization that is out there. We've got education in there, which I don't even have one on here, but Harvard is a large customer of ours. We've got, you know, small little organizations as well. We've got Virginia's got a number of the community colleges utilizing it, and, you know, in just about every area that you could possibly think of, we've got users out there that are really happy with the solution. In fact, I think Paulo said there's a number of people on the call now that have been using our technology that has been around since like 2012, 2015. And there's upgrade paths for those people as well to go from those other products to our newest and latest and greatest, you know, ClickShare conferencing, for instance, right? So go from what was an in-room conferencing only or in-room application sharing to a conferencing sharing application. And then I mentioned before, we've got roughly 360 devices that are out there that are certified by Barco, and they include, you know, Logitech, Vadio, Yamaha, Jabra, all these ones down on the bottom, and I'm not going to list each and every single one of them. So everything from, you see monitors here as well. So some of them would be touch monitors, because we do have devices that are will work with touch monitors. And then when I'm doing like this presentation, if I had to go to the front of the room and, you know, I'm doing the presentation from the touch monitor, I can forward my presentation directly from that touch monitor. I can also do annotations on it and save those as well. So there's some really neat features and capabilities. So to summarize, I'd like to, you know, make sure that everybody understands, you know, that although COVID pushed us really into this, and what it did was it moved us probably ahead almost 8 to 10 years in what people were going to be doing, and COVID sort of pushed us into it overnight. So they made it so that people started to say, oh, you know what, we need to be able to provide these communications to people that are working from home or working in a hybrid environment, and just make it so that they can utilize their laptops, make it seamless for them, and give them the ability when they come back into the office to continue to work the way they have been over the past 2 years, and use their laptops, use the applications they've been using, and make it seamless for them in a wireless application, instead of them having to plug in, move, you know, from where they were in one part of the room to wherever that cable might be. So we make it simple, we make it easy, and we make it wireless. So I mentioned, you know, we've got a number of different products, and I'm not going to go into all the different products, but we have ClickShare Presentation, which is really for local meetings. It would be more for use within the conference room itself, and or you can output it into a hardware codec as an HDMI input. or hybrid meetings like the ClickShare conferencing, which allows you to utilize those USB devices across the board. And that is the end of my presentation. So Jen, did we have any questions?
We do, actually.
Okay, Paulo, I'll let you ask them, and Brian's on as well. Brian, myself, and Jennifer should be able to either answer, or if we can't, we'll definitely get back to whomever with it.
Sure, let's go. So we have Stephen and Neil. He's asking, is the device DISA compliant? It's in the list of I think it's DISA. I'm sorry if I'm a DISA.
Oh, DISA
Yeah.
compliant. Okay.
Yes.
So our federal gentleman, Mike Morbetto, I don't believe is on the call. I don't see him, but we are TAA compliant. And so I don't know if when he says DISA, that's what he said, right? DISA? DISA. Right. So it's TAA compliant, which it's meets the TAA compliancy so that we can sell it here in the States to the federal agencies. So I'm not sure as to DISA itself, but yes, we are TAA compliant, which is a federal compliancy. Hopefully that answered your question. If you have more to that or need to know more, we can get you more details specific to DISA, if that's the question.
I'll ask somebody from VSGI to follow up with Stephen.
Was that the only question?
Yeah, that's the only one for now.
Oh, wow. Okay, then. Well, so Brian, we're going to have you do a little bit of a demonstration live for them.
Sure. Let's do
and
it.
Brian, just so you guys know, he's our pre-sales engineer. He works with us with our customers on the pretty much the eastern seaboard here. And he's out of our Atlanta office. Brian's basically our subject matter expert, all things around ClickShare, and also does a number of these demonstrations, both virtually like this, as well as in person. We've had him meeting with a number of customers as well while we're doing demonstrations.
Yes, thanks, Kevin. So how's everybody doing today? My name is Brian, as Kevin said. So he argued of our platform and some of the features, sort of put them into play here. So I'm currently in our Atlanta, one of our demo centers, in front of my large meeting room setup. And so this is just a Logitech meetup for reference with a large touchscreen display. Right now, you're currently viewing me on a camera that's locally tied directly to my laptop. So no smoke and mirrors. So we'll just show you exactly the experience and what you guys should expect from the user perspective. So just starting off, I know everybody's probably already familiar, but just as a refresher for maybe anybody that's new, as anybody that walks into a ClickShare environment in general, they can always plug in our ClickShare button. Let me zoom in here. Our USB-based button, which is going to allow us to actually, never have to be connected to a specific network or never have to install any application. The button actually makes a direct Wi-Fi connection with one of our base units, which can look just like this. And so it's attached to your display and also USB to your peripheral in the room. And so the button will just make a direct USB connection with the actual base unit there. And that's where you don't have to be on any specific network. The button is already on the correct network. And then furthermore, actually with the application standpoint, you don't have to install any application because the application that's needed to run is already on this button here. So, a user can simply walk off the street, walk in, plug in the button to their laptop, and then begin conferencing in about, 10 seconds or so. And so one of the biggest benefits, of us versus other competitors is that, immediately users never have to have anything pre-installed, or they don't have to ever reach out to any network team in order to just get started here. However, we do have flexibility. You can install an app like Kevin said, and we do have various different, native wireless sharing protocols like AirPlay, Google Cast, and Miracast that we support as well. So there's a variety of different ways to really be able to share. And then, we have some flexibility in how we can actually do wireless conferencing. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we can sort of show you the process. So I mentioned that the actual desktop application is loaded on our button. And so it can be pre-installed on any user's laptop, as an MSI file. Administrators can push it out to everybody so that it's in the background and everybody has it on their laptop. And so, really when you plug in the button, it connects directly to a particular base unit. It knows exactly where to go. However, with our actual desktop application, we have a feature called our ultrasound proximity detection. And so what that's going to entail is that when you walk into a meeting room with the ClickShare desktop app already installed, you can walk in and see that, hey, I walked into my ClickShare demo studio, and I can literally connect directly from here without ever having to choose from a meeting room. So that's sort of the user experience that you could expect with the desktop application. And then, just from a button perspective, again, this desktop app is already loaded on this button. So when I plug it in, it's going to use the same what's already on my screen, really. So I'll zoom in here to show you the button process. And so that's what it's going to call. So when we plug the button in here, you guys can see my camera. You'll see that it's going to load up in a clockwise indicator around the button, is loading up in an LED circle. So in about 7 seconds. So it's going to already here, it's a regular to my studio here. And then, we can see instantly this is, sort of synchronized that experience with the button. Once you're in the meeting, it's the same experience. Again, you're just going to be using this desktop app, which is loaded on the button. And so you can see here that I actually, it's actually probably already switching my microphone to my actual room speakerphone. It didn't switch my camera. But actually here, we can see that, I have my list of meetings here that are currently going on within 15 minutes. So you can see this is just this VSGI demo, and I can literally join this directly from this ClickShare desktop application. And when I do, you can see it brings me directly, brought me to a Teams meeting, it should bring me directly to here. These meetings should bring you directly to your actual Zoom and Teams meeting. It was having a little issue earlier, so I'm not sure if I messed it up when I tried to trick it, but traditionally you're going to join your meeting directly from this application. And once you're in there, you can see that your meeting room devices will be your room camera and your room speakerphone. So right now it's already tried to switch me room speakerphone here, and also going to switch me to my room camera. And because I pre-selected my devices, it's as my camera, again, that was plugged to my laptop, it's not going to actually switch it if you've already switched it. But traditionally here, it's going to literally plug it up to your PC as the default device. And so when you're doing your pre-joining stages, it should automatically be selected for you there. So now you guys can see me through my room camera. You're hearing me through my room speakerphone as well. So these are my dedicated devices. Again, this is a Logitech Meetup tied directly to my ClickShare base unit. And so now you guys can see my camera view. We can begin sharing a little bit. So once we've actually joined into the meeting, again, our devices should be automatically selected for you. If for some reason it wasn't, it would be the room camera and the room speakerphone again. But once we're in here, we have we can start sharing content. So we can do that either by sharing our entire desktop, and I can do that by simply pressing my button, and I can also press my virtual button, which you can see here just shares my literal desktop to my display. I could, again, come in here and pause this content if I needed to. And so now you can see this content is paused on my display. I could go into various different things here, and it's not pulling up on my piece, on my actual share display. So, a good feature here is that we can actually do sharing any specific window as well, any of your last 6 open application windows. And so one feature of that is, let's say with PowerPoint, let me get PowerPoint up here. We can share we can basically share our presenter view to, or we can have our presenter view locally on our laptop while our main presentation is shown on the display. So basically how that would happen is, PowerPoint will come up here. Give me 1 second. So basically, let's say that you could, this is the wrong PowerPoint. Sorry. So basically, you could say here that you simply come in and select your slideshow. And we will just start from our current slide, and then we can simply share this specific window here to my ClickShare display. So you come in, just press your all your windows, you share this specific window here, and then you can just simply come back and right click into your presenter view, and that's where it's going to be local on your laptop now. So now you can see that I have different content on my main presentation than is on my laptop, and I can just progress through my slides here as I really need to. And so that's the use case there. So that's really one of the main feature sessions that we can just progress through those slides there as we need to. So apart from that, we can actually do a really cool feature called the room display. And so what the room display is going to do is, say we've already walked into our meeting room, and we have actually, I'm the first person that's walked in, and I'm capturing everybody for my camera and my speakerphone. And so one of the biggest things that we can do here is, actually, I apologize. I've not been showing you my correct camera. I thought I switched back here, so you didn't see that. So you guys should be seeing my other camera now. Sorry about that. But basically, I was just showing the presenter view capabilities, that if you came in and then actually go to your slide deck and then actually share this specific slide, you can see it in the background now. You can come into your presenter view, and then you can see that here locally. And so what that allows you to do is just progress through your slides here while your presentation is shown on the display there. So apologies, I didn't have that camera view up correctly.
Brian, we have a question about presenter view. The question is, does presenter view work when the dongle or the plug is connected on a MacBook Pro laptop?
That is, yes, it does work. Well, it should work, I believe, actually. I haven't tested on a MacBook with the Microsoft feature set, but any presenter or any computer that has PowerPoint on it, it will work.
Okay.
And then
I have another question too from Kevin.
Yes,
Is there a limitation? Is there any limitation of room size? Would it work for a conference room of the size of 100 square feet, 1,100 square feet?
So with that, there's some differences in what can happen there. 1,100 square feet is pretty large, and so really we have the range of the buttons is up to 100 feet. In a line of sight, perfect Wi-Fi environment type of deal. So not necessarily 1,100 square feet type of space, but what we can do is we can connect buttons to an external network. And so what that's going to say is we can put them onto a customer network, and so essentially there'll just be another device accessing your existing Wi-Fi network. So you can do that. To extend the range, just to have the same range that your laptops would, or you could, if you can't put them onto an existing network, you can let's say just create your own network with maybe a dummy router that doesn't have any type of internet access. It's simply just a stronger radio for the buttons to connect to. So there are ways to extend the range of the antennas past the standard.
Yeah, but see, even that, like 1,100 square feet is what, 30 by 35-ish roughly, right? Would be around 1,100 square feet. So it's well within the 100-foot distance between the button and the base unit. And then from a perspective of the peripherals, there's a lot of different peripherals out there that, are good for, some are good for 15 feet because of the distance from the from that peripheral. Other ones are good for 25 feet. And then once you're beyond that, usually, and VSGI is great at this, you want something that's more of an integrated system with, like a mechanical pan tilt zoom camera that will, zoom in on people still or whomever. But because it is not doing it digitally, the image is a cleaner, crisper image. So there's a lot of different peripherals out there that will enable for larger rooms. And if you're using those peripherals and they're USB peripherals, we'll work with those. If they're not USB peripherals, you may have to go through a box that VSGI can provide and integrate it into our system, or integrate ours into their system.
Perfect.
Sorry, Brian.
All good, all good. Thanks for that. The last thing I was going to share with you guys was the room view. So it's really sort of the complete experience that you could expect. So if you walk into a meeting room and you've hosted this meeting, you can say that you've captured everybody on the camera and the audio perspective, but what about another user's content? So how could you capture somebody else's content from that perspective? So what we can do actually is we can enable the room view or share our room display. So what I'll do, I'll show you how it's activated, and I can show you a different way. But really what it is once I toggle up this room display, you can see this is literally exactly what's displayed here in the background on my ClickShare desktop, on my ClickShare display there. And the power of this is that, let's say I'm another user in the room, I could simply connect it via ClickShare and share to my ClickShare display. And from there, anybody in the room or from there, anybody virtually will be able to see my content. So you can imagine I'm just a user with just my iPhone. I've walked into a meeting room. I don't have anything installed on my phone, and I'm just going to share with AirPlay. And so anybody that actually, you can see this 4-digit PIN code on the bottom. Anybody that connects with the desktop or with any application can be asked for a 4-digit PIN code. And so you can see here that now I'm sharing via AirPlay, and I can show you, my iPhone, again, not connected to this meeting at all. I could show you my ClickShare mobile application if I wanted to. You can see this is what it would look like from the mobile app perspective. But, I can also be here and be able to share side-by-side content. So, now you can see that if we're enjoying the full features of ClickShare by sharing side-by-side content, I can now capture this entire experience and share it virtually with everybody. We can even take it a step further to say, if we're using touchscreen devices, we can also capture live touchscreen integration. So if I were to be annotating this content with my touchscreen, I can freeze this content on screen, and from here I can actually be able to mark it up and do exactly what I need to do there. So bring it up, and so you can see here that I'm actually just annotating my content here, and this is again just through the power of our ClickShare. We can you can see that it's very live. We can save this content if we ever wanted to. And when it's saved, it's going to save to anybody connected with the actual desktop application or the mobile app. Let me exit out. And it just saves as a PDF. So hopefully everybody saw that pop up, but it just saves as a PDF on your local laptop. Or if you have the mobile app, it saves as a PDF on your actual phone. And so that's a way that we can literally have the whole experience there and be able to virtualize our meeting room. Any questions from that?
Hey, Brian, your camera dropped for some reason. I don't know if you shut off your video.
Nope.
When did that drop?
Yep, there you go. A little while ago.
Oh, I wish you guys would have said something. So
sorry, I had full screen on content. I wasn't looking at you. Sorry about that.
Gotcha. So did you see the touchscreen demonstration or anything?
Well, they saw the content part of it anyway.
Yeah,
happening on the content.
That's pretty cool. So it becomes like an interactive board.
Yeah, and effectively we can basically share. I can share whatever I'm doing on my board, in a higher resolution through my room display here. So, now you guys should be seeing this room displayed. And, if I were to be using the actual touchscreen to annotate, I can, show my annotations and me doing this live, and you guys can see this, in real time here.
Very cool.
But, another effective part is that nobody ever has to join this Zoom meeting. Another user in the room doesn't have to join the Zoom meeting. They just simply share it at ClickShare, and then everything is captured from that display and shared into the meeting.
Pretty nice. Really nice.
So Paulo, any other questions that you saw popping up, or Jennifer?
No, we're good actually, guys. We're actually 5 minutes to finish the webinar. So if you guys have any questions, please let us know. Other than that, we're gonna leave you guys. Go to your day.
And if you come up with questions after the fact, please reach out to Paulo, and Paulo can get to us and get any answers, any concerns that you may have, anything that you need around ClickShare. You can reach out to us and make sure that you get those questions answered or concerns taken care of. So,
Right, guys, thank you so much for the presentation. We'll, as Kevin said, we recorded, so we're going to send to everybody. And of course, if you have any questions, reach out. We're here to help. And we hope you have a great day and be safe, everybody.
thank you, Paulo. Bye now.